It's December 7th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a writer who vanished without a trace, a warning unheeded, and a statesman silenced forever. Let's begin. On December 7th, 1939, a quiet chill fell over the streets of Brookline, Massachusetts. Just as 25-year-old literary prodigy Barbara Follett stepped out of her front door and vanished into history. Barbara wasn't just any young writer. By the age of 12, she had been hailed as a genius, a child author whose imagination seemed almost otherworldly. But fame came with a price. Her father abandoned his family, her manuscripts were destroyed in a house fire, and Barbara's once bright world began to fracture into something darker, something she rarely spoke about. On that December evening, she left home after an argument with her husband. She walked into the cold night, and witnesses reported seeing a lone woman wandering the neighborhood, moving with strange purpose, refusing to look at anyone who passed. And then, just like a character in one of her stories, Barbara simply disappeared. No body was found, no clues, no confirmed sightings. Her husband waited weeks before reporting her missing, and investigators later noted disturbing inconsistencies in his story. She created an entire world from her imagination and finally walked into one, leaving ours behind forever. Some believe she ran away, others think she met a far more sinister fate. So, what do you think really happened? On December 7th, 1941, before the sun had even risen over Pearl Harbor, two young radar operators watched something impossible appear on their screen. A massive cluster of aircrafts approaching from the north, larger than anything they had ever seen. The men hesitated, unsure whether this was real or some kind of equipment failure. But the signal grew stronger, closer, and clearer. One of them, 21-year-old George Elliott, picked up the phone, his voice unsteady as he reported the anomaly to the duty officer. But the response came back flat, almost irritated. Don't worry about it. Just a flight of B-17s coming in from California. No further questions, no alarms raised, no warning to go higher. Yet outside, the ocean held its breath, and the island remained calm, unaware that 180 enemy aircrafts were cutting through the clouds, engines humming in the distance. Elliot and his partner watched the blip grow impossibly large until it filled the entire screen, then vanished from the radar range. Moments later, survivors recall hearing a strange, rising buzz following the scream of the diving planes. The sky erupted, metal rained from above as explosions tore through the harbor. The very attack Elliot tried to warn them about. In the aftermath, that ignored radio signal became one of the most haunting what-ifs in military history. A silent warning that could have changed everything, if only someone had listened. On December 7th, in the year 43 BC, Rome awoke under a sky the color of ash. In the outskirts of Formiae, a small villa stood unnervingly still. Inside, Marcus Tullius Cicero, Rome's greatest speaker, the man whose voice once echoed through the Senate, waited in silence. He had been warned that silent executioners were coming. Soldiers of the Second Triumvirate, men who spoke little but killed without hesitation. Cicero had spent his entire life shaping the Republic with words sharper than any blade, but on that morning, no words could save him. Mark Antony had issued a chilling command: Cicero's voice must end. As the sun crawled upward, hooves crushed the gravel outside his villa. Cicero did not run. Instead, he stepped forward, opening the door before they could break in. A final act of defiance from a man who'd lived by a conviction. Cicero lifted his chin, offering his neck, his eyes reflecting something between courage and resignation. His head and hands were taken to Rome, displayed as a warning to anyone who dared challenge power. The eerie part was some onlookers reported that even severed, Cicero's mouth seemed to be frozen mid-speech, as if the great speaker had died, still trying to speak one last truth to the republic that betrayed him. Cicero's final moments still echo as a warning. Even the sharpest voice can be silenced when power fears the truth it speaks. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.